Hey guys, so I wanted to show you something that's pretty interesting that I've been wondering about for some time. And that is in Daniel chapter 12, we see a very detailed layout of the timeline of the tribulation period, the 7-year tribulation. And there are events laid out to the day. But the events laid out to the day are only in that first half of the tribulation period, and I kind of wondered why that was the case. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll discuss. So this is Daniel chapter 12, verse 11, and it says here, "And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days." So the beginning of the tribulation is when the daily sacrifices stop. So logically, that does mean that we will see a rebuilt temple, and the daily sacrifices will begin first. Those things have to happen before the tribulation period starts. And so from the sacrifices being taken away to the abomination of desolation, there is 1,290 days. That's approximately 3.5 years. And Daniel 12:12 says this, "Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 days." That's 45 days after the abomination of desolation. So this is a blessed event. What is this? This is the rapture. It's going to be a mid-tribulation rapture, folks, and it's going to be 45 days after the abomination of desolation. The abomination of desolation is when the Antichrist goes into a rebuilt temple and defiles it and declares himself to be God. And at that point, there probably will have been persecution of Christians up to that point, but the next 45 days are going to be the worst time to be a Christian alive, the worst time to be a Christian ever in the history of humanity. This is the time frame that this is actually one of the little seasons, of which there are 2 in Revelation. And this is a period of which Jesus said that if this period wasn't cut short, no flesh would survive. And the saints are going to be hunted down like animals and killed during this time period. The entire world system, and we're talking soldiers, we're talking police, we're talking special forces, and I do believe that we are talking demonic entities which will be walking openly amongst humanity at that point in time. All of this will be AI, satellites, possibly robots, used to hunt down and kill Christians during this time frame. And then we really don't see any other detailed to-the-day events for the latter half of the tribulation period. And that's really ultimately the reason why I think we have these detailed to-the-day events laid out. Because things are going to be so horrific for believers that they're really going to be surviving day by day. And at that point in time, they will be looking for the return of Jesus Christ during the rapture. As the scriptures say, when Christ returns, will he find faith in the earth at that point? It's going to be now I do believe there will be survivors that God brings through that time, but it's going to be a very terrible period of time. And there's no to-the-day events laid out for the latter half of the tribulation period, because we hit a point where God's judgment's being dispensed, but God himself seals the saints, the 144,000 virgin men of Israel. By extension, that means there's probably 144,000 sealed virgin women of Israel as well. These are the people who will be going into the tribulation period. God has kept them sexually pure and undefiled, and they will be sealed so that they can't be harmed during that period by God's judgments, which will fall on the unrighteous. And there may, just like there was during the Exodus, there may end up being a mixed multitude that are also sealed during that time period. I'm not 100% sure on that one way or another at this present time, but those folks are sealed and protected by God, and he's specifically going to bring them through that latter 3.5 years where God's wrath is being dispensed on the earth, and he's going to bring them through, and those are the people that will be repopulating the earth during the millennial kingdom of Christ on the earth. on the earth, which will be renewed at that point. And so those folks don't really need a countdown. But those of us who are going to be there, and I say those of us, I'm talking about the church from the times of the Gentiles, which we're in right now. I may not survive to be, around. There's going to be persecutions and death during the lead up to the tribulation. There's going to be persecution and death during the first 3.5 years. But I think that countdown is there to give us hope, so that we know at that point, the wise anyway, according to Daniel chapter 12, because not everyone's going to understand, but the scriptures say in Daniel 12:10 that the wise will understand. And we're given this countdown so that we'll know once the tribulation period begins, we will know the exact day of when the rapture is going to take place. And it will be on us at that point to, as we are commanded in the scriptures, occupy until he comes and to endure until the end. God bless. Have a good one.